Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Steve. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, reviews, topics, randomness, out of the blueness, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box down below, if you wish to. And this one, Steve wanted to ask me about my top 10 favorite survival movies. Now, in retrospect, I should have asked him what he meant by survival film, because technically, it could be a broad statement. I mean, technically, Aliens is a survival movie. Technically, Assault on Precinct 13 is a survival movie. Technically, this film is a survival movie. Hard Target. Technically, that's a survival movie. This is about, where is it? Don't hunt what you can't kill. That's the tagline of this film. Don't hunt what you can't kill. So technically, that's a survival film. So I should have asked him what he technically meant by survival. Because if it's any, then it'd be like Aliens, Hard Target, that type of stuff. But I'm guessing these are the type of films he meant. So I'll do my best. Like Outbreak. Is Outbreak a survival film? Because there's a bunch of people trying to survive a disease. With Dustin Hoffman, Morgan Freeman, Rene Russo. And I love that film Outbreak. I think very well done. To the point, my chest is literally trying to leave. I think my rib cage wants to leave my body to watch the film without me. It's like, I'm sorry, rib cage. You'll have to stay there for a minute, or probably 20 minutes, so I can finish it, and then maybe we'll watch it. Maybe. But don't leave it yet, rib cage, please. Don't leave my body yet. Because when you do, I want to film it, because that'll be a great trick for YouTube. But, like Misery. Is Misery a survival film? So I think this is what he meant, though. And in no particular order. It's hard. Well, maybe I'll do my best as to the order. Number one, I'll put Gravity. I know a lot of people don't like the film. I love the film. I love the movie. One of my dear friends, Efreed, is not a fan of the film. That's fine. Teach their own. I loved it. People say it's predictable. To be perfectly honest, I hope every survival film is predictable, because I want them to survive at the end. This is a survival movie. So, predictability, in a way, I do want it predictable. That's the thing. To be unpredictable means maybe they'll die. So I actually do want it predictable. So predictable is not a bad thing to me. But Gravity, I saw in the theater twice in 3D. It was a wonderful experience. I really did feel like I was in space. I love Sandra Bullock. It's my favorite actress. I really like George Clooney. I thought the musical score was beautiful. I thought the effects for the time were fantastic. I just got lost, and I was in space. I felt like I was in space for 2 hours. And I felt for Sandra Bullock, trying to do what she can. Oh, it's unrealistic. Yeah, I know. No matter what with a space movie, there's going to be unrealistic shit in it. But just going by the skin of her teeth, trying to survive this insane, almost getting ripped apart, almost floating away from space, twirling around. Is she going to get centered and be able to get back? It makes me want to rewatch the film now. It really does. I love Gravity. I think the acting, the music, the direction, all are big props to them. I gushed over it when it came out. I know people disagree. That's fine. But I love Gravity. I think it's a very entertaining survival movie. Number two, Judgment Night. But see, like, if I put Judgment Night, then I would have to put Hard Target. So, is that a survival movie? Because it's people trying to survive, not getting killed. Don't Whisper, Don't Even Breathe. It's with Emilio Estevez, Cuba Gooding Jr., Stephen Dorff, Jeremy Piven. 4 guys trying to go see a boxing match. They turn on the wrong road. They're on the wrong side of the streets. They witness a murder. Dennis Leary and his gang hunt them down, and they're being chased through the city. I think Emilio Estevez, the whole cast did a great job. Well directed by Stephen Hopkins, who directed Predator 2, Love Judgment Night. So I don't even know if that would fit in there. Southern Comfort, Walter Hill. It was about, it's Powers Booth, may he rest in peace, and which Carradine? Was it Teef Carradine? I forget which Carradine. It's not David Carradine. It's not the Carradine from Revenge of the Nerds. So I think that's Robert Carradine. So it's Teef Carradine and Powers Booth. They're part of this group of National Guardsmen in Louisiana. They're doing a training mission. You also have Fred Ward and Peter Coyote and a few others in there. Some of the assholes fire blanks to steer them. The local yokels fire back, kill one of their men, and then becomes this war where these men are out of their element in Louisiana swamp. You feel bad for Powers Booth and Teef Carradine because they had nothing to do with it. Just these assholes that started this. They're just caught in the middle. And it's a survival through the Louisiana swamp to get to safety. I thought they used the location rather well. The music by Ry Cooder. I think it's a much better version of Deliverance. I'm sorry, I've never been a fan of Deliverance. I think Southern Comfort was a much better version of Deliverance. And I like the cast. I like the location. I thought there was surprisingly a couple creepy moments in there. Brian James is one of the villains. Sonny Landham is also one of the villains from... Sonny Landham was in Predator, among others. Just Southern Comfort, very underrated film. But yeah, I don't know if that would count on the list. 127 Hours, I really enjoy with James Franco. I think he deserved an Oscar for that film. It's based on a true story where a guy, he's mountain climbing, he's enjoying his journey, he falls, he gets stuck in this crevice, he can't get out, his arm's stuck. So he's like, do I cut my arm off, but I'll bleed to death, or do I stay here, do I try to wait for help? And him overthinking his life and what happened and his regrets. Directed by Danny Boyle, who did 28 Days Later. I haven't seen 127 Hours in a long time, but that's a film I would actually really like to rewatch again sometime. Because I remember really enjoying the film. I think James Franco, I know he's been accused of stuff. I don't know what's true, what's not true. I want proof before condemning the guy. But I really enjoyed the film. I think it was heartfelt of a movie. I think it was well directed. And I thought they did a good job. For making a limited, a guy stuck to this rock. They made a film that wasn't that boring. So I really enjoyed 127 Hours. Castaway. Tom Hanks, I think, is one of his best performances. Granted, the trailer gave away the entire fucking film, because the trailer gave away that he worked with the post office, he crashed, he was on the island, he escaped, and then will he or will he not get back with Helen Hunt? Like, they gave away, like, the entire fucking film of the trailer. But, for the most part, it's a one-man show, and he pulled it off. When you did drama with him talking to a volleyball named Wilson, that's where you had a good actor like Tom Hanks. And you see the physical transformation from the postal worker to using what he can to survive. And I like that they didn't try to force in pirates or some bad guys or the island's going to explode with lava. Like, they didn't try to overdo it. They just, that's the plot. I gotta find a way to get off this fucking island. Wilson's my companion. His will to survive. And I love the music. I love the ending. I mean, it's literal. But I still appreciate it where he's literally at a crossroads. Which does he go? Does he go this way? Or does he follow this girl that's one of the packages I had, and Maybe this is fate. Maybe I should go for a try. And he's at a literal crossroads. It's up to you to figure out which direction he goes in. And I thought the music was beautiful, and I thought Robert Zemeckis did a really good job directing the film, so I really enjoyed Castaway. Frozen from 2010, for those who don't know, that's a film, I would say, Adam Green's best film. Most would say the Hatchet films. Never been a fan of the Hatchet movies. I think Adam Green does better away from Hatchet. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I think Frozen and Digging Up the Marrow are his 2 best films. And Frozen is a group of friends, 3 of them. They're on a ski lift. They're going down. Just some mix-up. They get left there. So now it's 3 people on the ski lift. They can't drop because it's too far. It's getting colder. They're not going to be back till the weekend is done. So what do they do to survive? I thought, wow, that's a really original idea. You're playing the cold, hypothermia, your skin sticking to the metal grates. So you have a little bit of Adam Green horror element. A guy does try to drop down, but his legs just... There's also wolves out there. So I thought it had some really good suspense. The actors did their jobs well. And like I said, the concept was very original, and I never go skiing, so I'm fine with that. But I mean, okay, I never would have thought of that as an idea for a movie, but it worked rather well. And I thought it was the best he's done at trying to build suspense, at least of the other films he's done. And I keep saying 2010 Frozen to not get confused with the Disney film, but I like Frozen. It's a well-made movie. It's a survival movie no one really talked about, but I thought it was rather effective. The Martian, Matt Damon. I keep forgetting that was directed by Ridley Scott, so that's the last decent film Ridley Scott has done, was The Martian. And Matt Damon really helped that film. A lot of it is him by himself. Granted, they keep going back to Mission Control, and you get a good cast in there, whether it be the people who are his crewmates, who made the decision to go back for him at the risk of their own lives. People in Mission Control trying to figure out how to keep him alive. But Matt Damon, just his sense of humor, just how crazy the situation is, trying to figure out how to survive on Mars, how to get food, how to get water, shelter. Again, at times it was a bit funnier purposely than I thought it would be. And it definitely has the production values to back it up. And I thought it was a rather solid film, The Martian. I enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed it, so... I think one of my friends saw it. He wasn't really big on it, to each their own, but... like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. Again, I think it's the last decent thing Ridley Scott has done in a long fucking time. And I think he had good material and a good cast to work with. I think it's less because of Scott's direction and more on the script and the actors. I really do. Apollo 13, gotta put that on the list because, Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, Bill Paxton, may he rest in peace, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, Clint Howard, directed by Ron Howard. Of course, based on the real problems of Apollo 13. Houston, we have a problem. And it did a good job raising the tension of they feel like they got one thing fixed and here's another. They feel they got one more thing fixed, there's another problem. It's just a conundrum of problems. I thought it kept the tension rather well, and you have a great set of actors. Again, like The Martian. I would put Apollo 13 above The Martian. Like I said not really in a particular order, but if you're asking, like, of this list so far, Gravity would be number 1. Apollo 13 would be above The Martian. It's just hard for the rest, like, this is like 10 in general. But yeah, I know Gravity would be number 1. Again, if you're not putting like hard target, again, the survival thing is a bit... Like Gravity would be up there, 127 Hours would be up there, Castaway would be up there. Again, Apollo 13 I would put above The Martian. But yeah, Apollo 13, very effective. Was one of the big hits of 1995, deservedly so. Beautiful score. For the effects, I thought they did a good job making you believe in the outer space sequences. And Tom Hanks is a very effective actor. It's not many times he turns in a piece of shit movie. I'm not saying never, I'm saying it's rare that you think of a Tom Hanks film, oh, that was a piece of shit. Like, I don't like Joe vs. the Volcano at all. But I love The Burbs. I enjoy The Money Pit. I like Turner and Hooch. Dragnet is okay. I like Philadelphia. I really like Forrest Gump. I really like Castaway. Sully I wasn't big on, but it wasn't, the whole plot was based on, just never intrigued me as much as others. Just never did. So it's not really the movie, just was based on, it didn't just never intrigue me as much as others. But yeah, Apollo 13, that's a real life story that did intrigue me. And how much of it is true or not, and what's made for a movie, there's always that, but I thought it was still effective. Other movies, The Shallows, where it's a woman who's a surfer. She finds this great place, but then a shark attacks her, and she's left on the shallow part, and has to find a way to get the fuck off this damn rock and get to safety. And it's a survival story of her trying to deal with this one fucking shark, and she's got her hurt leg, and trying to use her wits, her intuition, and her one friend is a seagull that she literally calls Steven Seagull. I thought that was actually funny. Hey, maybe I'll call you Steven Seagull. I thought that was cute and funny. And it's the best thing Seagull's been a part of in the past 10 years. And that's because it's like a little reference. So, there you go. While some of the effects of the shark at the finale is a bit dodgy, some of it's actually rather effective. A lot of the shark effects are rather effective. Again, just at the end, there's a couple that's dodgy, but it's still an underrated film. No one ever talks about The Shallows. No one ever mentions it. But I think it's one of the best shark films. With Jaws, Deep Blue Sea, The Shallows deserves to be in that top 5. I don't know what else would be in the top 5, but those are 3 that I think of top of my head. Yeah, really enjoy The Shallows. If you like survival movies and shark movies, it's definitely worth a watch. Also on the list of The Revenant. I saw that with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I was rather impressed by the direction. That was a gorgeous looking movie with the camera work and the visuals. I thought DiCaprio did a good job. You really felt this guy went through the ringer with all the shit that went on. The fight with the bear, just the cold and the snow. You really felt, goddamn, you really felt like this guy was up shit creek, and he really went through some turmoil to get out of this situation. And I have a review of The Revenant up on the channel. Feel free to watch it, give it a look. Other stuff I was thinking on the list, I didn't like If Misery and Outbreak. I did Hard Target Alien, what fits in it. Freezer. That's a film that got a bad rap. I don't think it's as bad people make it out to be, with Dylan McDermott, where some bad guys lock him up in a freezer as to figure out how to keep alive and stay alive while they want answers from him, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. The Naked Prey, way back in the day, that's a film I reviewed on the channel, where a group of people are on a hunting expedition in Africa. Some things go wrong. They strip him of his clothes and they hunt him down while he's trying to survive the elements and survive them. The Impossible, with Ewan McGregor, Naomi Watts, and a very, very young Tom Holland. Before Spider-Man, he was in this as the son. It was about a family that were, I'm trying to remember if it was in was it somewhere in Asia? It's been a while since I've seen it, but a natural disaster happens as them trying to survive this disaster and then trying to find, amidst all this chaos, their family. It's more of a drama. It's less Volcano, Dante's Peak, Twister, and more Indian drama. Especially the aftermath and trying to connect with other people and survive in that aspect. So again, I didn't know what constituted as a survival movie, but I hope the list was still good enough to suffice. If not, I apologize. But with that said, does made me want to rewatch some of these movies. I know that. So, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.